Now, R. Kelly said it best, I don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. But there's a time and a place for everything. Take a look. The city of Houston was up and ready when Hurricane Harvey slammed into our community. Leaders had the GRB, NRG and Toyota Center up and waiting for those who had to evacuate their homes. But then there are these two. What the hell? Another shelter resident caught them and blasted it live on Facebook. A pay-per-view I'd never drop a dime on. Two people appearing to hump under the covers. Nothing would be wrong with that if these nasty buzzards weren't in a shelter filled with children and senior citizens. While we don't have x-ray vision and can't see through the high thread count of that Red Cross blanket, we do see upward and downward motions between the two people. Are they having sex? It was enough to enrage thousands of people online, and it left us asking what's really going on in these damn shelters. And, of course, we just got off the phone with Derek Jarrell. He is the one who posted that video, and he shot it live, and he said he saw two people having sex. In fact, it was two men at the GRB having sex, and he wanted to just go pull the covers off and tell them to get the hell out, but he did not. So what's going on in those shelters? We have the people here to talk about it. We have our special guests. We want to thank them for coming on the shelter. We have Kathryn Griffin Grinan, also Constable Alan Rosen, and Erica Davis. Thank you guys for coming on the Factory Uncensored. First of all, Kathryn, you saw this video online yourself.
Yes, I did.
What were your thoughts about it?
Oh my God, all of those babies that are just sitting there and standing around, and the thought of them being exposed to all of that filth in the open when so much tragedy has taken place. And then, of course, with the work that I do, I'm concerned for these children and predators preying on children, and they see enough anyway, and everybody's hurting right now. Take it to a room.
Absolutely. Constable Rosen, you're in charge of the NRG, nothing with the GRB, so
That's
that
correct.
wasn't on your watch.
Wasn't on your watch.
Yeah.
So what is your concern when you have children and senior citizens in a shelter and you have people that may be possibly a sex predator or someone who may have other issues in this shelter with those people mixing like that?
You know, you always have to consider all those factors whenever you're dealing with that. So we are actively looking for that. Our shelter actually has the single people going, you know, single men going someplace, single women going another place, and families going to another place. We have had very little issues at NRG. We did have somebody that, you know, was pleasuring themselves that was asked to leave the shelter. But, you know, with the showers, we have female officers that are outside the showers because in the past we've heard that there have been some activity going on in showers and things like that. So, you know, this is you know, people are at their worst right now.
Right.
They're displaced, they're feeling rough.
But do you, at that point, have sex?
You really shouldn't. This is not the place. I mean, you got kids running around all around this place, and so you know, we have a pretty watchful eye everywhere at the NRG Stadium or NRG Center to ensure that that doesn't happen. Could it happen when someone goes outside? Certainly. Could somebody go outside to a car? Certainly. There obviously are no kids out in the parking lot. So we have just, you know, not seen a lot of that, although I have heard story after story of this going on in past shelters that have been around.
Let's bring Erica Davis in this. Erica, what can parents do to make sure their children are okay in a situation like this?
Well, I believe that, you know, you have to keep your kids near you. I mean, as the community outreach, and we've been working at our own distribution site, you know, it is now time to have parents to keep a close eye on your kids. You're supposed to do that already. But in these times, you know, everybody is in a vulnerable state. There are a lot of activity going on, and we're just trying to protect everyone. But as a parent, it is just very important to keep your child next to you and near you.
Kathryn, if you're aware that someone has a sexual predator history in one of these shelters, what should you do if you're in the shelter? Should you contact the constable? Should you contact police? What should you do?
Immediately. Contact the constable, contact any law enforcement agency. I specifically know that if we are contacted, because we have a human trafficking division that specializes
at Precinct 1.
At Precinct 1.
Yes.
And that's what we focus on. But understand this. Sometimes you have to understand there's a lot of mental illness, and then there's a lot of trauma that has been has come upon a lot of the evacuees. And some people are looking for healing, you know, sexual healing, but it ain't the place in the shelters to be healing yourself sexually. I'm just saying.
If we have somebody that is a registered sexual offender, we actually put them in a spot basically by
So they're not put back on the streets.
No,
you're just saying.
No. We just secure them in an area where we know that we can keep a watchful eye on them. So we are prepared. We have a plan for that.
Yeah.
And if that actually does, if we have a registered sex offender come into the shelter, obviously we have a place that is basically a segregated place away from children and other people where they can go. It's not bringing negative light on them, but it's just putting them in an area where we can keep a watchful eye on them.
Constable Rosen, Kathryn Griffin Grinan, thank you guys for coming on the Fact
Thank you.
Uncensored and shedding some light on this issue.